YouTube, and welcome to my 5-year ownership review of the Tiger 800. 5 years. Where has the time gone? Many a mile has been done on this, and it's been such a great bike. And not without flaws, we'll get into that in a little bit, but yeah, overall, just a brilliant bit of kit, really. So, to save you watching previous ownership reviews of this bike, brief bit of history. I bought it 5 years ago, well, coming up to 5 years ago now, from Destination Triumph. It had about 30,000 miles on it when I bought it. That's because this was formerly one of the demonstrators at Triumph, and then it was sold privately, and then whoever owned it sold it back to Triumph, and then I bought it, and then it was mine. And so yeah, I've put about, well, 40, just over 40,000 miles on it, including a little bit of off-road abuse, as you might have seen recently on the ABR videos, and of course little Salisbury Plains off-roading from a couple of years back as well. That, and of course we've done the North Coast 500. There's so many miles of road trips, the Tweed Butt challenges, all of that sort of stuff. Yeah, it's been such a comfortable bike to do the miles on. It has been excellent, reasonably priced to run, of course, and yeah, I've got just a couple of little complaints, but nothing majorly wrong, apart from maybe one thing, but that I think I was just unlucky on this one thing that we'll get into. But yeah, that's the general the general gist. Extras that have been put on this bike, if I can remember them all then. Let's see, so it didn't come with a beak. I wanted to have a beak on it. They didn't do the right blue colour in that beak, or I couldn't find one, so I bought the aluminium one, and then later on eBay I found these blue stickers, so put the stickers on just to help sort of blend the colour, and yeah, it kind of goes quite well, I think. The screen, this was put on last year before I did the North Coast 500. This is the Triumph touring screen, which is just excellent, but only on its highest setting for me. If I lower this down, the wind just hits me straight, either straight in the chin or something like that, and I'll just get a lot of buffeting. But with it in its highest position there, the wind just completely bounces over me. Most of the time I can ride with my visor fully open if I wanted to. I generally tend to close it because usually bugs will still find a way in on that. What else have we got? Aftermarket. The fog lights are auxiliary lights, whatever you want to call them. They're just aftermarket. They are from Square Deals. I believe I mentioned these in the last video I did on him. They're just wired straight to the battery at the minute via an isolator switch, which I did mean to actually get wired in properly, but I never got around to it. And yeah, they're still like that. So yeah, that is what it is on them. Crash bars, they went on just before we did Salisbury, and of course the sump guard as well, aluminium sump guard, which has definitely come in useful, especially at the ABR this year, because I bottomed out the front suspension, and I'm pretty sure the sump guard saved some serious damage at some point during that. So yeah, I'm making the most of my trail access pass, and yeah. Oh, I bottomed out then. That can't have been good. Still got the Power Bronze, although it's very dirty. I mean, the whole bike's very dirty. Power Bronze rear hugger, and I'm just noticing now I need to give the chain another lube. It's gone quite dusty in this dry weather that we've had. I did only do it, it wasn't too long ago when I did it. I did have the Tutoro chain oiler, but the nozzle kept breaking and just getting mangled in the chain and stuff because it just wasn't fitted very well, and that's just my fault. And in the end I was sick of it not working, because it would have either moved and it was just dripping oil onto the ground, or yeah, the nozzle was blocked or something like that. So yeah, I think I'm missing a bolt there as well. That's yeah. That's something I need to look out for then. I've lost a bolt. There we go. So yeah, I thought, no, I'll just get rid of it and I'll just go back to manually lubricating the chain. And yeah, it needs doing again already. So yeah, there's that. This big tool tube here, it was a smaller one, and then I won this in Big Pez's camping thing, winning his Patreon camping quiz thing. I don't know how I won it, but I fluked it, and yeah, I won that. So yeah, we swapped it over for the bigger one on here. So that's just got little toolkit and visor wipes and stuff like that. There we go. The Arrow exhaust is aftermarket, of course. That was one of the first things I changed many years ago, and that's been absolutely fine. Didn't need to do any remapping or anything like that with the EFI. Yeah, everything is all good there. I think that was it for the extras. The Jivvy top box mount was always on there. It came with a big, I can't remember what, 52 litre. Yeah, big 52 litre pill-shaped one, which was just massive, and I thought it was probably a little bit overkill for my needs, so I got rid of that and got a Trekker Expedition 42 litre, whatever it's called. Probably one of the most common top boxes that you see, is what I mainly use on this. And yeah, when it's camping time, the top box goes on, and then I've got Lomo roll bags that just sit and strap nicely to the grab handles here. So loading up for luggage is very easy on this bike. I should mention the latest addition, actually, the Cool Covers seat cover. That's the latest addition I've had on this. Got this at the ABR because it was on show prices, so it was a bit cheaper. Very impressed with this. It actually works. It does make the seat a bit cooler in this hot weather. So yeah, very pleased with that. And they're nice and easy to fit because it's just Velcro it on from underneath. So it's mostly cut to show. I think I just need to do a little bit of fine tuning because it's not quite lined up right along any of this. But yeah, I can have another go at that next time I have the seat off. I think that is it for the walk around side. So the bits I'll talk about now, we'll jump on it and continue riding, and we'll talk about the pros and cons of ownership of a 2015 Tiger 800 ABS. Okay, pros and cons then. Let's just talk about some of the bad things, just to get them out of the way. So the sort of main gripe I have that I've found recently with this, and this is only from when I've started doing servicing myself on this bike, and that is, it is annoying that to get the fuel tank off, because you need to get the fuel tank off to get to the top of the valve cover, to get to the spark plugs, and also to the airbox to change the air filter. In order to do all that, to get the tank off, you've got to take the beak off as well, and of course these side trimmings here, and the covers that go around the side of the radiator, around the side as well. Most of the front end plastics have to come off to be able to get the tank off, and that is it's annoying. It's an inconvenience. It's annoying, but it's not too horrible to do. It's just a load of Allen bolts to undo, really. It's inconvenient, that's for sure. So yeah, there is that. That's kind of my main dislike about that, is having to access them bits under the tank. It's not quite as easy as it maybe could be with some better design. Another one for me is the I could have done it back there because that terrain wasn't suitable. The turning circle of this is terrible. It is very wide. Now I don't know if it's better or worse than like a sports bike or something, but yeah, when you turn this full lock and do a turn in the road, or you're just pushing it around, it is such a wide turning arc that you usually have to do a bit of Austin Powers if you're in a tight spot. Whereas like my Scrambler and my CRF, the CRF pretty much almost turns on its own axis. It's that good. And the Scrambler's a bit better for that sort of thing. But yeah, that's again, it's not a major problem. It's just a
bit of a bugbear sometimes when it comes to manoeuvring this thing around. Now, as for actual problems with this bike, I've had one sort of relatively major problem, and it was a little costly as well. And that seems to relate to a problem that the previous models had. So on the like 2010 to 2014 models, which I think mine sort of falls into that, but technically not. It's kind of, I feel like it's kind of a bit of a loophole on Triumph's part that it didn't get included in part of the recall, because apparently the problem was already fixed on this bike. But I beg to differ. There was a common problem on that range of bikes where the spring in the gear selector, on the gear selector shaft, would just break and you'd lose the ability to change gears. And it's because, yeah, a underrated spring was used originally. So there was a big recall and they all got replaced under warranty. Now, that happened to me, but it wasn't actually the spring that broke, it was another part of the mechanism that broke. So it was kind of similar, but not quite the same, so it didn't warrant it being a recall warranty, extended warranty claim with Triumph. So I had to pay for having it done. Now, I didn't go to Triumph and get it done because it would have cost a lot more. So I went to Billy's Motorcycles and they sorted it out. I was tempted to have a go myself, but because it involved taking the clutch out and stuff, that was beyond my comfort zone. So I did, in the end, just decide that yeah, I should just have a professional do this. And yeah, they replaced well, they had to replace. I think it was the whole gear selector shaft assembly that they had to replace. So I can't remember how much it cost now. I think I want to say it was about 300 quid. I think in total. And it would have been a lot more if I got it done at Triumph, because Triumph's workshop labour costs more. So, yeah. Could have been worse, for sure. But yeah, a little bit frustrating that it was something that was kind of a warranty claim on the previous models, but not on this one. But this one effectively is the same as that range. This is Tiger 800. Most of this is the same. The main differences were when they brought out in 2015, I think it was, when they brought out the XC and the XR branding on them for road and off-road or cross, whatever. And they also introduced ride-by-wire throttle. This doesn't have any of that. This is like this is still the basic model based off that older generation of the engine and stuff. So I think technically it should have been included, but it wasn't. So, yeah. Oh well. That was my main problem with these. Now that's not a problem. The fault that happened with mine shouldn't affect the newer ones for sure. They've probably got their own problems for all I know. I don't know. So, at least I know it's been sorted on this one, and hopefully we're going to be yeah, we'll be good for the rest of this bike's lifetime in my ownership at least. Other than that main problem, that's kind of the worst I've had with this. Well, I'm trying to think if there's any other issues like that I've had. Nothing quite so severe. I did sorry, yes, I forgot about this, and this is the most recent thing. And this is a common problem with ones that do get used in the dirt a bit more, and certainly more in other countries as well, where sand and dirt can get into places. I had to clean up the stepper motor in this for the idle speed. So what happens is it gets gunked up and then it stops working, so it can't control the idle speed and you get a really weird idle. That happened to this. It's quite I know it's been a common problem in the States, usually in like places like Arizona and stuff, just from the sort of dust that's in the air out there, I guess. But no, because mine was done a fair few miles and also had done some dirty work, as it were. Yes, it had clogged up the stepper motor, so I had to clean that up to get that right. And again, that was another one where fuel tank off, because I had to get the airbox off as well. It's all behind all that. So yeah, did all that and cleaned it up and stuff, and that was fine. However, I did run into some issues putting it back together. I kept getting an engine warning light on, which in the end it turned out to be just a little O2 sensor that connects to the bottom of the airbox, which is on such a kind of like loose and unobvious connection. It was a vacuum hose basically, wasn't it? I think, yeah, something like that. That when I took the airbox off, it literally just slid off, and I didn't feel it. I didn't feel the resistance on it, so I didn't know it was there. And then when I was putting it all back together, I just didn't see it, and that's all it was. It was just because that hose wasn't connected, and it was throwing up an engine warning light because it wasn't getting a reading from that hose. So that's all that was. So that was more of a me issue there. But yeah, that's something to be aware of. That the idle control stepper motor is something that may need to be cleaned up every now and then, just to stop it from messing up. Now onto the good things. It's such an easy bike to get on with and live with, really. Running costs and stuff, I mean, it doesn't seem too thirsty. It's got a nice big fuel tank. I forget what the actual capacity is, but I usually get a good 210, 220 miles if I want to stretch it that far out of a full tank. So yeah, that's pretty good. Because it's annoying on smaller bikes when you only have a small fuel tank, you have to fill up more often. Especially when you're going long distance, you want to be able to keep on the road. I mean, that's just me, but because this bike is comfortable, you can do that. You can sit on it for hours. I mean, I've proved that multiple times with the Tweed Butt challenges. I've been fine in the saddle for most of the journeys that we've had on these. It's been hours in the saddle. It's certainly got ticks the boxes on comfort and mild munching. Insurance costs, I mean, that varies per person and stuff, and situation and location and lots of other, and alignment of the planets. Depends on how much your insurance is going to be. It's been pretty average prices for me, I would say. And as for actual servicing, if you're doing it yourself, it's pretty cheap. It is, well, the usual stuff. Air filter, oil filter, spark plugs, oil, all that sort of thing. It's all done fairly cheaply. I think the last service I did on this, for all the parts I needed, was, I'm pretty sure I got everything for under £100. That included a Triumph OEM oil filter as well, and using Castrol oil. Pretty sure it was Castrol that I picked. Oh shit. A tractor. Well, that could have been worse. That could have been worse timed for sure. I'm glad it appeared when it did, because there was a little pull-in on the left I got into. So yeah, overall, it is a very good bike. You can't go too far wrong with one of these. They're super reliable in my experience, and not very easy to get on with. I think the only issue you would have with it is if you're a bit short in the leg like me. They're a bit big and heavy for a smaller person for sure, but your average person shouldn't have any issues there really. You can do what I did and get the dog bone lowering kit to lower the rear suspension down a little bit. That did help a little bit for me. Or it's probably better actually, if you're going to do that, you're probably better looking for one of the newer ones which had the proper lowered frame and everything. Yeah, the XR Low, or whatever it was called, because they were like them with in the low seat configuration and everything. was pretty much the same seat height as a Grom on paper anyway. But yeah, I did take one of them for a test ride, and yeah, I got on quite well with it. My only sort of annoying thing with that was because it was lower, it was scraping the pegs a lot easier. And it was, as fun as that is, when you scrape a peg going around a corner, now and again is fine, but if it's going to be doing it on near every corner when you're on a bit of a decent, ride, I imagine that gets old very fast. Or you just wear through the bank angle indicators faster and end up needing new ones. You get 3 foot pegs. So yes, a very capable bike indeed. I mean, and I find that the 800 isn't lacking for me for when I'm doing fast and like motorway stuff. It's enough power. I don't feel like it lacks. Okay, it is noticeable compared to like bigger bikes, but I think for the sort of more smaller cc engine, you get a little bit more fun out of it. I imagine if I had the 1200, I wouldn't have as much fun as on it. Of course, the 1200 would be nice because shaft drive. But other than that, I think, yeah, I prefer the 800. And when the time comes, I would most likely replace this with the 900, because, yeah, the 900 was a very good upgrade to this that still ticks all the boxes and actually does things better, of course, because it's newer and they made it a bit lighter and a bit more, I don't think it was actually lower, but it certainly felt more manageable, because this is quite a wide seat on this. The 900's a little bit slimmer, so your legs are a little bit closer together, you get your foot down more comfortably. So yeah, that's probably what I would upgrade to after this, would be the 900. However, I've still got a good 30,000 miles left on this before I want to get rid of it. When I had my GPZ, actually the GPZ was on about the same mileage. The GPZ was on about 72,000 miles, and yeah, it was getting a little bit long in the tooth, and I was also getting quite uncomfortable with it, and various other reasons, and decided to get rid of it. My intentions before that was to make the GPZ, get the GPZ to 100,000 miles. Unfortunately, I didn't achieve that, but I should achieve that on this. So when that does happen, then I will look into whether it's time to move on, or my other plan is looking to see what will be involved with changing out the wheels for the XC version, put the wired wheels on with knobbly tyres, and just having this as a big off-roader. Anyway, that has been my 5-year ownership review of my Tiger 800 ABS. Hope it's useful to you. And as I do get the occasional comment on some of the other ownership review videos from people that are interested in one, and hopefully these videos are helpful to you in making your decision on whether you should buy one or not. Of course, at the end of the day, it's up to you. All I can do is just share my experience with what it's like owning one of these things. So there we have it. Thank you for watching, everybody. Take care, and I will see you on whatever the next video might be. Bye-bye for now.